Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to the Aladin show. I hope everybody is having an amazing day wherever you are around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today I have a beautiful lady on, and I've got a beautiful guest here sitting there, and she's going to share her knowledge of how to achieve inner peace. Yes, Iona Barker. She has been on my show before. Yes, you need to watch my show, previous shows. She's been on it about over a year ago, and she shared some of her amazing knowledge as well. So you need to watch. I won't explain too much about it, but you need to go to the other shows as well. Today, as I said, we're going to talk about inner peace. We are all searching for inner peace. Yes, doesn't matter where you are. We are all and having that inner peace, and how do we achieve it, and how do we do it, all the techniques, and we're going to share some of the techniques today and how to achieve that. Doesn't matter where you are. It could be in the office, at home. You can achieve inner peace wherever you are. So I'm going to introduce Iona Barker. How you doing?
Hello, Aladin. I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, it was lovely to have you. And I know when we chatted on the last show, people found it really, really interested in what you were saying, and I know that. And people say, "You need to get her back." I said, "Yes."
Amazing, I love it. That's great.
So let's kind of go briefly over kind of your past, kind of what you've done. You know, you had two businesses. What kind of were they?
Yeah, so I ran a costume design business for approximately 10 years, actually maybe more than that. So when I was at uni, I graduated, well, I studied fashion design at uni, and I, in my third year, decided just for a laugh, I guess, just to like set up my own fashion business, just making things, putting them on eBay, making a sample, putting it on eBay, then selling making how many orders I got, depending. I would run up like versions of it and sell it. So that started in 2006, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then I just started making costumes for friends who were actors, dancers, performers, and that kind of snowballed into getting work in theatre, events, film, television, and then at the same time as doing that, because I love a challenge, I decided to set up a creative therapy organisation, a non-profit, which was focused on combating social isolation and mental health problems in Scotland. So yeah, that was really good. It was great fun, but obviously running two businesses at the same time, plus sometimes having part-time jobs and things just to keep myself ticking over when it was quiet, was pretty busy.
Pretty busy. Yeah, that sounds like a busy lady. I have been, but now you took a year out.
Yes, I did. Much to everyone's amazement, I completely stopped everything. I stopped my classes. I stopped teaching. I stopped doing wardrobe. I still keep my hand in occasionally doing the costume stuff. And whenever I get asked to do things at the Hydro, I go work there. But most of the time, I stopped. I decided to just scale back, stop what I'm doing, chill out, have fun, remember what fun feels like. Because sometimes, especially when you're working for yourself and you're self-employed, you can get quite bogged down with numbers and formalities and tax returns and fun stuff, like not fun stuff, I'm sure for some people it's lots of fun, but for myself, I'm very much a creative person. So for me, fun is in like creating and so yeah.
Well, that's good. So you said you've learned a lot in the last last year, or throughout your life anyway, but especially the last year you took the time out and kind of searching. Are you kind of searching for something, or who you are, maybe what you're supposed to do?
What my purpose is here, really. Like I thought, like when I was younger, I thought my purpose was to be a fashion designer, costume designer, and make beautiful outfits for people, which I did and loved, but it wasn't really fulfilling me in any way, shape or form. So then when I decided to set up Say It Ain't So, the creative therapy business, because I was running two businesses at the same time, the workload was very high, and I was constantly like burnt out, I guess you could say. I burnt out quite a few times. I worked in London for a year in 2009, 10 years ago, and that was a really big shock to the system because London is a very challenging place to live, especially in terms of like rent and bills and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm no stranger to burnout. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think it's like most people out there. I know that myself have been through the process. In touch with, I've just kind of realised in life just to take it easy a bit. But I know that a lot of people out there are really burnt out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they are kind of trying to find a balance somehow. You know, trying to do things. You know, because we all have to, as you said, pay bills and things like that. We have to, you know, go to work, but yet find that kind of balance of, you know, not going to say stress, but stress is part of work, but that kind of saying, you know, I just try to be me and not just want to relax, you know. So when I mean, we know that obviously the topic is about inner peace and how to achieve it. So what definition of inner peace to you, what does that mean?
So for me, over the past year, it's been really interesting, right? Because when I stopped my work and I just, you know, had a bit of savings, decided to take some time out, I was expecting to have this like overwhelming feeling of chill, you know, which in this day and age, it's not going to happen, is it? You know, your phone's going off, your emails, and even if you're getting phone calls, even if you're not in work, you're still, you know, having to do things like, you know, hoover the flat or the house and clean the dishes and, you know, walk the dog and all these kind of stuff. So you're constantly, you know, sometimes fighting your way through just, you know, stuff, and lots of kind of things will come up. You know, difficult situations will happen no matter how chill you're trying to be. So I decided that in order for me to find a kind of more peaceful being and more peaceful way of life, the best way for me to do that would be to heal myself. So for example, really working through blocks and belief systems and why I feel the way that I do about certain things, and really spending a lot of time in contemplation, meditation, and just doing a lot of reflective writing, a lot of I like to call it brain drain, where it's a practice that is really popular for writers, where you basically write 3 pages a day of whatever it is on your mind, and that's a really nice way to clear out your brain of whatever's in there. And of course, when you first start meditating, like, you know yourself, like but your brain is not used to not doing anything. You know? So when you start meditating, because you're quietening your mind, your thought process and your brain starts firing things at you, like, remember you need to do this, and remember what one time you did that like 20 years ago, that's going to come back and we're going to torment you with that. So your brain, the mind, has very interesting ways of trying to distract you and trying to make you focus and think on things. So as soon as you stop thinking about things, your mind will bring up things from the past which you need to heal in order to move on to the next, you know.
So when you say that we're bringing things up from the past, is it not that maybe we shouldn't focus on the past?
Oh yeah.
Because I know that a lot of people say, you know, bring up the past, and a lot of people go to a lot of counsellors and all that to sort their life out. But is that not putting a lot of vibration energy into the past, and you're actually being in that state more longer than you should be? Whereas, you know, if you've got the past coming in, you're saying you like that is no longer. I know it's difficult for a lot of people, you know, to because as you said, a lot of people are kind of repeating that past in their mind. It's not doesn't exist in the reality.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment, you know, it's a past that is trying. We're in this cycle of in a bicycle in our mind, and we're just replaying that same image or same words and same emotions.
Yeah, especially if it's a traumatic experience or trauma or something bad has happened. Like I love the saying, "Don't look back. You're not going that way." But then at the same time, if you have had a traumatic experience in your past that you need to overcome and let go. There's lots of different methods that you can do that, and yeah, I just decided that would be even though I've in no way, shape or form I've had a traumatic past compared to others, there's still things that have happened in my life that haven't been that great an experience. And for me to help others, because I was trying really hard, like with both the jobs, to be the best person that I could be. And certainly in the costume business, I was always present. I was always trying to help people out, trying to make the best of stressful situations. And when you've only got half an hour to make a whole outfit for somebody because the last one's been like destroyed on stage, it's pretty stressful.
Yes.
So always trying to make like the see the best in it. And then of course with the creative therapy side, trying to heal people and help people. If I'm not healed, if I've got trauma and issues going on in my own life, my own head, then I can't really, you know what I mean, it's difficult for me to help others to get through theirs. So that was why I just decided to scale right back.
It's really nice to see that, you know, you've kind of recognised that it's, you know, you really need to work on yourself first.
Absolutely.
Before you could help others.
Totally.
Where there might be, you know, some people out there thinking, I need to help others first and then help myself. It goes maybe the wrong way around. But we're in a society in this, you know, living in a city and finding that inner peace. I mean, I know we can talk about meditation, but what other techniques other than meditation would you suggest to find that, you know, trying to connect to the inner peace, you know, more often? I mean, it's difficult, even for 5 minutes a day, connecting to the inner peace. What techniques would you say? I mean, we will go over the meditation side of it, but anything else that you would suggest?
I would highly recommend any sort of creativity. Creativity is so good for us to open up and reconnect with our inner being, whether that's like drawing, painting, sewing, knitting, dancing, writing, whatever it is. Like just doing that even for 5 minutes a day, just doing that little thing that gives you joy and makes you feel good. It's a really great way to feel better. But there's also lots of different teachings. For example, I'm a massive fan of Qigong. So Qigong spelled Qigong. It's a 7,000-year-old healing practice where you can do it seated. You can do it if you've got a disability, or if you're unable to move, you can very much do it from where you're sitting. And I've been actually doing it in offices with people. It's been really great sitting at their desks, like doing it, you know. So yeah, there's loads of things. The thing is, like, we can spend our whole lives experimenting and trying out different things because there is so much out there. It really is a rabbit hole. Once you start like digging to see what there is in there, like it just all opens up, and I love it. There's so much.
Yeah. Saying about Qigong, I love Qigong. I've done it a few times, and Tai Chi and all that. It is amazing, and it does gives you that peace, calmness, and kind of noticing your body and all this stuff. It's really, really good. But people who might be working and looking for inner peace, work with some clients I've worked in the past as well, saying that even if people work in our office, take time out, go for a walk, you know, find somewhere, park or somewhere that, you know, for 5-10 minutes, you know, just kind of connect with nature, or just take time out, you know, something like that as well. You know, just as you said, just getting away from the computers and the phones and all that, because we are distracted by those even more than we were many years ago.
Oh man, so everything has an energy field around it, and everything, you know, we are human receivers and transmitters of energy, and electrical devices, everything in the environment gives off an energy, and because more and more technology, we're surrounded by more and more technology, we're just being bombarded with energy all the time. So taking 5 minutes out, especially in nature where you can reconnect with the natural world, is so fundamentally good for our inner and outer being. For sure.
One thing I found when I was working in a group and things, I know inner peace is finding inner peace within yourself, and this calmness. People think it's just the calmness, and I think it's like laughter. Yeah, it's really good when you laugh. It is connecting to that peaceness, that who you are, your inner being,
the joy that we have. Like, think back to when you were a child, like just the joy and the excitement. I love this past year because it's really helped me reconnect with my inner child. And I know that's really cheesy, and you know, a lot of people kind of talk about their inner child and things like that. But actually, like, when you think back to when you were maybe 6 or 7, 8 years old, before you were jaded by like modern day society and all the adult, grown up things like paying the rent and paying the bills and all that kind of stuff, we were so excited and joyous and loving, and we believed in magic, like we believed that the universe and everything was here to support us. So trying to get back to that joyous feeling, that emotional, it's good. It's lots of fun.
Another thing that came to mind just now, was sitting with you, also I see as inner peace as when you start listening, you just listen to somebody, without, because you don't have your mind connected, you're not thinking out you do, but your focus is, your focus is listening to somebody else. But in that way, you're just letting go of your thoughts, but that's also a sense of the peace you find when you're listening to somebody without your thing going on, if that makes sense. I don't know, that's something that I was listening to you, that was was my focus, was listening to you, and I could sense a peace, but yet I was, connected with you, if that makes sense, but kind of a weird thing that. So let's talk about meditation. Now, there's different kind of meditation people could do.
So many different types.
So give me some examples, what kind of meditation, like, so, because a lot of people say, I can't close my eyes, I can't, sit down, for 5 minutes, forget about doing meditation. What kind of meditation people could do? What is,
Well, so the traditional style of meditation is sitting in a seated position with your back upright and legs crossed, and you're just following your breath and not listening to anything, trying to focus on your breath and trying to calm your mind and still your mind, and any thoughts that pop in, you let them go. And then there's your guided meditations, which I just love. Like, I love being guided by somebody on a journey, because I'm very creative and I've got a very kind of like image focused mind. So having the images there and being guided and really visualizing is such a powerful tool. So guided meditations are phenomenal. There's so many out there as well. And then you've got your chanting, when you chant a mantra, for example, in meditation, you can do that out loud or you can do it silently. You've also got your transcendental meditation, where you get given a mantra or a saying that you then have to keep yourself, and you have to, repeat it over to yourself in meditation. There's so many different kinds of meditation, and people, it's really good because nowadays science is finally catching up with thousands and thousands of years of spirituality, worldwide spirituality, and it's proving to us that as soon as we start to slow down the mind, slow down the thinking monkey brain, we actually are putting energy elsewhere into our body. So the energy that we use to think and to survive, especially for living in a place of stress and anxiety, because our brain is constantly filling up with like chemicals that should not be there. And as soon as we stop that and calm that down, we're actually allowing the energy to be present elsewhere in our body, that perhaps places that need healed, in our heart, and we start to become more aware of our bodies and our being and our energy field and things like that. So that's amazing, because I kind of see as like, as you mentioned, you when you're kind of focusing on something that's very stressful, or your life is not working, and you're actually using that energy in that direction, and you're taking the energy away from your desires, your health as well. It's like giving away money to strangers, and your bank account goes empty. That way, and you're picking your power away. I'm sure a lot of people that have got money, they would just want to give the money away from the bank accounts, and that's exactly what's happening with our energies. We're giving away. When we're angry, when we're frustrated, when we worry, stressed, everything. And people don't realise that, and that's why so ill health and all that. We have health challenges and things like that happen. But as you said, meditation is basically the energy goes back into our bodies. We actually focusing, and we're actually taking back and healing our whole being, inside and out. Like, and as soon as you start to meditate, as soon as you start to really focus on clearing your mind and those emotions and thoughts from the past bubble up into your psyche, and you can work through them and release them. Like amazing things start to happen. So then once you've released all these things from your past, or bad habits and things like that, releasing them all, you can then start to create an amazing outer world, because everything on the outside is a reflection of everything on the inside. And so, for example, if your life is stressful and you're unhappy, it's not going to get better by changing the things on the outside. You really have to do the inner work first in order to see a difference in your world, in your outer world. And it's phenomenal, like how other people are affected by, as soon as you start meditating, as soon as you start making changes to your inner self, people are like, what's going on with you? Like, what's up with you? Like, why are you almost like floating, or or why are you more relaxed, or why, people just, they kind of look at you differently, and they kind of, and they almost kind of get affected by your energy field, which they do anyway. Like it's physics. Like people, when you come into your energy field, people will be able to tell immediately what you're thinking or how you're feeling just by standing next to you. So, proof is when you go into the busy city centre at Christmas time, it's just like, whoa, like a wall of crazy, So it's really interesting how people start to be affected positively in your outer world when you start to change, when you start to work on yourself.
Yeah, you're right. And then there are people who, when working on yourself, they won't be in a similar level of vibration. They would want to either kind of disagree with you, or they would just leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you shifted your energy, and you're no longer vibrating in a little level. And it's like you'll keep people who are in that level, but then there are people who will just have to leave. And that's okay. I think it's a lot of people are fearful of that, because when you meditate, everything's changed. Things has to change. We are growing beings, or souls evolving all the time, and we shouldn't stop because we're going to make somebody unhappy, or for things might change. So that's great. So you've sent me a guided meditation. It's a great meditation. So what made you start that? I mean, that's the first one that you've put up. You've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've literally just started. Iona's Iotas, it's called, because I've really started. I've got into quantum physics big time.
Yeah.
So quantum physics is looking at the macro, tiniest things that make the biggest changes. So I actually started because I have so many guided meditations that I've used myself over the past year from other teachers and spiritual guides, and it's been really amazing. And because I've got such a visual mind, it's really been useful for me to make the big changes, using a lot of NLP techniques and things like that, to really clear out blocks and emotions and difficult things that have went on in my life, and so I just really love the idea of being able for somebody to be able to pop in the headphones and disappear into a completely different universe, a universe that's like of their making, because every time someone listens to me giving a guided meditation, they're usually like, and I ask them, what did you see, what did you feel, and everybody's different. Like everybody's their visual ideas of what it is completely different, and I just love that. I love how creative people are. You've got a lovely voice. I mean, and then when you listen up, and then people just relax, because not everybody can. I'm not going to say everyone that can do this, but it's that it's very flowing. It's got great energy behind it, and it's a grounded meditation. It does make you grounded, because a lot of people, we are kind of floating. You're not floating about. You're not physically floating we're
about.
Up here, like
we're up here. Our mind's out there, stressed. So we really need to get back to the ground, and allows us to focus on the things that we need to deal with. But it's a really, really good grounded meditation.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're doing it, because it sounds you're really, really good at it.
We'll see, but
So you're going to start getting one out a week, you said?
Fingers crossed, hopefully. I'm using, so my amazingly gifted partner, my boyfriend Tyler, he is an amazing musician, and he's been helping me with the tracks for behind the meditations. So,
oh yeah, I was going to say that. It's really.
And we're actually using musical chords and vibrations and notes and keys that actually help tap into the subconscious and actually help you relax. So for example, like everything has a frequency, and musical notes especially can make you feel a certain emotion or make you like make your brain do certain things. So we've done some research, Tyler and I have done some research, and we've found that like certain specific keys and notes will actually help you to relax and also help you heal as well, like A, G sharp, for example, like these notes, these musical notes, like can affect us on a like quantum level. So it's so exciting. It's just the information out there now, like science is just finally catching up, and it's just about time, you know.
Well, you need to meet my friend Puneet. He's actually created the introduction for the music there.
Cool.
But he's also the similar, but it's actually scientifically proven. His work's been scientifically proven, and he's been healing people through his music.
That's
and
amazing.
one-to-one sessions.
That's
music.
brilliant. Yeah, you have to hook us up.
Yes,
sure.
You need to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you will. But as I said, because I'm obviously listen to your guided meditation, and I know that a lot of people will actually benefit listening to it. And I agree that but music has a different frequency level, and it affects you differently. You know, it has proven that some have like God frequency, connected to the God sounds and all that, and there's a frequency of releasing negative energy and things. And I personally believe, I love music. I love music, and when I'm doing my meditation, I just put music on and listen to it and just kind of follow where I have to go. And that's how I find that inner peace. I love that. I know some cultures doesn't allow music, but I think music is so powerful.
It really is.
The right music, obviously there's music out there influencing in a negative way, but what we're talking about is a positive music that will just influence us to tap into our inner being, be the best version of ourselves, I think.
Totally.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, everyone's different as well, so like depending on what your own tastes are in music, like I always say to people to go and experiment with music and just have fun with it. And also like just listen, and if there's a note that you don't like, just don't listen to it again. Just go with whatever, go with the flow, go with whatever feels good to you. Find music that makes you relax, makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. Like go with the good feelings. Don't go with stuff that makes you feel angry and stressed out, because it's gonna make it worse.
No, saying that, I know we've only got a few minutes left, but radio, I've listened to the radio recently, and I didn't listen to it for a while, and I realised when I switched back to the radio, I could see a huge difference in frequency. Really? Because the music that has been played, some of it is not high frequency music.
It's definitely not.
Because the reason I realised that is because for months my radio wasn't working in my car. I just put my YouTube, I made choices to what I want to listen to. I went back to the radio, I could sense it was totally different. The words, and I was kind of tuning into, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So that's just to put in something. I know people might be saying, I maybe need to listen to the radio, So Iona, it was amazing to have you again.
Thank you.
Always have you got great energy. Again, tell me what YouTube channel if people want to listen to your guided meditation.
So it's called Iona's Iotas, IONAIOATAS, Iona's Iotas. You can put a wee link on your page if you want, and then people can just click on it. And I've only got one meditation up at the moment. But I'm hoping to have another one done by the end of the week. So I'm just going to keep it going. I'm just going to meditate myself and see what comes to me, and then just type it up and put it out.
That's fantastic. That is amazing.
Thanks.
That is fantastic. So thank you for coming on. And I'm sure if people want to ask any questions, they could kind of message you you've got a Facebook page.
I do.
Yeah.
It's hidden in there, but you'll find it.
Yeah. But they can message my page as well, so you could go on and have a look at it as well. I'm sure they're happy to comment on.
Absolutely.
So thank you again, and I'd like to thank the audience for tuning in today, and I'm so blessed to have amazing guests coming on and sharing their knowledge and experience, and this great energy, that they're sharing through. Energy just flows wherever. It doesn't need to be close to someone. You could be 5,000 miles and watching a video like this, the show, and then you'll get the energy and you'll be connected. So thank you again for watching. Share this show with as many people as you can, and they will benefit from watching. And I would love you to watch the show next week. I'm going to have a topic. I'm going to post that on my page and let you know what it is next week, and you could join in as well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of my life, my journey. It's so amazing to actually do my show and kind of share it with the world, and that is what is my passion, and that kind of and you are the audience who drive me to do this show every week. So thank you for watching, and join me next week. Bye.